I'll tell you, this book actually talks about 3 ideas of the atonement. The ones that we're familiar with today, and then what they call the Christus Victor, the original idea, which is similar to the Orthodox idea, where the atonement means that Jesus came and conquered sin and Satan and hell. That's the atonement. I mean, there's a lot more to it than that, but that's what this book gets into. And he has another book that I recently read a couple of months ago.
We both have written, or published and written books on the atonement. Interesting, they're both read.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I have written a book. It's the one book that it's not on any lists, and at the back of the Cullen collection, it's not listed, but I've written it, and it's kind of in the same vein as the late great Hilda Bates, or anyway, it's called George MacDonald and the Atonement. But I don't. It's probably even more. I don't know. It's how I've been asking myself that for years, too. What about the atonement? Because that's almost. What does George MacDonald believe about hell, the Trinity, and the atonement? And those are kind of the big heresy points in his day, in our day, in fundamentalism, in Calvinism. They're all difficult questions, and we could talk about the Trinity, and there would be lots of diversity of opinion. And I have, I've written about that. George MacDonald wrote about that. But the atonement is almost kind of ground zero. It's because if you start questioning hell, or not questioning it, but questioning the prevailing orthodoxy, eventually all roads lead to hell, but then eventually all roads lead to the atonement too. And I've wrestled with it for years, and then one day after a bike ride, I came home and told Judy, I think I just figured out the atonement. And then I tried to write it down, and I forgot it by the next day. When your blood is pumping and you're just going, your brain is just on fire, and you never know all those things, and then they kind of dissipate. But I kept working on it, and it was actually a retreat about 5 years ago. Retreats, you never know what might be coming. Retreats there's always a book that comes out of a retreat, and that one came out of a retreat several years ago, and so I wrote it. It's brief, it's a booklet, kind of, and then I sent it to everybody who'd been in the retreat, and one of the people at the retreat, it was a great retreat, but one of the people never spoken to me again. So you just never know when you're going to cross lines, but anyway, it's one of those subversive titles that it's if you twist my arm in private, you might be able to get a copy.
I have, by the way, on the front page, the home page of worksofmcdonald.com, the first thing you see in the upper left is a chunk of that I extracted from Unspoken Sermons, which is titled MacDonald on the Atonement, and which I think is very close in spirit to Chapter 5 of C.S. Lewis's Mere Christianity, which is his take on the Atonement, the Perfect Penitent, which I think is I think the two are very very close in spirit, and basically at one-ment, right, making it possible for us to become at one with God, to let our own will die for the will of the Father would not be possible without the cross. A gross simplification, but I think that's the heart of both what Lewis and MacDonald were saying.
They both, I would never. Well, I would be very hesitant to critique Lewis and MacDonald, but I guess at the end of the road, I believe they both sidestepped the issue. C.S. Lewis kind of drips off and, well, we don't ask how the medicines and vitamins and food makes our bodies work. All we know is it works, and so great. So the atonement works, and that
He's got his theory.
that isn't enough for me. Yeah, but he didn't really explain the mechanics of how you go out into the day and live in the atonement. And those are the kinds of things that I try to do in my writing. Because that's all my books start because I'm trying to figure out something for myself. That's how everything starts. And
isn't it the ultimate expression of God's love, though?
what's that?
The atonement of Christ, and that He was willing to die.
I don't know if I use those terms. I mean, I've written it. I've tried to make it really practical how it is an ongoing process for me and gleaned from the writings of MacDonald. I don't know. Versus kind of I think the prevailing view is sort of the atonement is something that happened, Jesus paying the price for us and making atonement an event. And to me, it's more than that. It's ongoing, it's daily, it's a process of how do I die daily. It is about the cross, but it's not about Jesus on the cross. It's about my cross life, living all my life. It's daily, it's ongoing. How does that moment that Jesus died on the cross translate into my everyday, all my life?
I need a small business loan. The frog's name was Kermit Jagger. And the teller eyes him suspiciously. Frog sees that her name is Whack, Mrs. Whack. And she says, well, you know, this is a bit strange. Do you have any credit history? Do you have any paperwork? And he said, I'm a frog. Of course I do. But my father is a world famous music celebrity. He's Mick Jagger. And surely that's got to count for something. And she said, well, and he said, can I ask your first name? And she says, it's Patty. He says, well, Patty, how about giving me a loan? She says, well, I'm just not sure about it. And he said, well, she said, do you have any collateral? Do you have anything you can use as collateral? I said, no, but my father's Mick Jagger, and I actually, here. And he pulls out a crystal elephant and hands it to her and says, this can be collateral. Just go ask your manager about it. And so Mrs. Whack takes the crystal elephant and she goes to her manager and says, hey, this is going to sound funny, but there's this frog here who wants a loan. And he says his father is Mick Jagger, and he's giving me this crystal elephant. I don't even know what it is, she said. And the manager looks at it and he says, it's a knick-knack, paddywhack, give the frog a loan. This old man's a rolling stone. So, well,
Way to remember the punchline. That was
so my old man isn't a rolling stone, but we appreciate his work, and we're
Speak for yourself. I mean, yes.
we're here to talk about MacDonald and his use of imagination.
This gentleman has kindly allowed me to quote from him. His book, Saints and Scoundrels, copy of it's over there. This is some messaging that he and I did the last week or 2 or 3. And then I made some photocopies of the actual lineage in his book. Amazing, and just we'll see what you guys think. It's pretty cool stuff. For MacDonald, there is a divine splendor that lies concealed in the stuff of ordinary life, and even the mundane and commonplace participate in God's grace. The sacramental vision of the world, a world where everything is bathed in divine splendor, led Chesterton to refer to him as St. Francis of Aberdeen. MacDonald, like St. Francis, was gifted with the ability to see the same sort of halo around every flower and bird.